If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Welcome back to the Throne of the Dragon podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of HBO's House of the Dragon. I'm Josh.
And I'm Curtis.
And we are back.
Back.
For episode 8, Lord of the Tides.
Lord of the Tides.
Yeah. I like Lord of the Tides still sounds cool, but I think Master of the Tides sounds...
Master.
Yeah,
oh, you're Lord of the
were...
Tides. Well, I'm Master of the Tides, so...
Well, okay, yeah, I guess that... Well, I don't know if there's really a difference. At first, I was going to say that Corlys was master of tides, probably because he was like the master of ships too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that Viserys. God damn, there's so many names now.
Yep.
We've got all 5 of Rhaenyra's kids too, and Daemon's 2.
Yup.
And then Allison's 3.
Yeah. Well, just too many people.
I didn't realize that the 2 kids that we were seeing in the trailer last week were Jacaerys and Lucerys.
And Lucerys, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize. I figured they just look a little bit older or something, you know?
Speaking of names, at the very beginning when they're at Driftmark and Rhaenys is talking to the Maester,
mm-hmm.
and she called him by name, and I swear at first watch or first time hearing it or whatever, I could have swore she said Maester Kevin, and I was like, oh sweet, finally an easy name, and I was like, oh no, it's not Kevin. Dang it.
Maester Kevin.
Maester Kevin. I was like, what? Huh?
There is a Kevin. I mean, I know there's Kevin repeated a couple times in like the Lannister line, but yeah, there's a Kevin Lannister in Game of Thrones.
I was like, they seem to have some easy names. Jamie Lannister, Kevin Lannister, Carl Lannister.
Of course, Carl's these are people with a Q.
Yeah, but these are people we need to be hanging out with.
Yeah. Yeah, the Targaryen names get tiresome after a while.
Like elvish names.
Yeah. But when the episode starts, we find out that it's been at least 6 years since the last episode. I don't know. Did you watch the inside the episode at the end there?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. They talk about how everybody's in the 17 to 21 range now, supposed to be. So
the kids, okay.
Yeah. Which I guess that kind of adds up. Because I was thinking if like Lucerys is on the young end of that, you know, if he's 17 and Jacaerys would be like 18 or 19, and then because Aegon's going to be the oldest, so he would be.
Which is weird because to me he looks like one of the younger ones right now.
Well,
Aemond looks older than him, and I think it's probably because of the eye patch. But
yeah, the eye patch is a big part of it. Plus, his hair is longer.
He's taller.
He's got a few more marks on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just looks a little more weathered. And I think he's just kind of put himself through some of that stuff where Aegon lives a little more poshly.
Yeah. Yep. Enjoying the finer things of life.
Yeah. The big theme in the episode is this bitch Vaemond, who just like
he's hilarious though, man.
God damn, dude. And I kind of got the feeling even the actor who plays him is kind of a douche. Like, probably. And I got the feeling from the inside the episode, because the scene where they interview him, like some of the others are just telling you like kind of about the scene and what this character might be feeling through that. But I don't know, the whole time he was just talking like he was the character, and like
Maybe he's
I
one of
don't
those guys that he's
know.
just like he stays in character the whole time.
It was really weird.
He's a method actor.
Well, no, not even like in the character's voice and stuff.
Oh,
He was
okay.
just like he identified with the character so much that he was just like, yeah, me and this guy are the same. Like we both don't stand up
Wow.
for any bullshit, you know. Like it was,
Okay.
yeah, it was weird. It just made me think he was kind of a douche. I mean, if he was
Yeah.
just joking around, that's one thing, but it never like really broke. He just did that like the whole time they were interviewing him.
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah,
But
but I
yes,
thought like in the very end there with his little when they're like, he was calling them bastards. That's what
yeah,
I'm trying to get to. But the part I love the part when Damon's like, say it,
right, yeah,
say
right. Do
it. And it was just like the way that he goes about saying that he's like, her children are bastards, and then
Yeah,
she's a whore. But then like not even that part really got me the most. The part where like he's just standing there and all of a sudden like he turns around and points at Lucerys. He's like, that is not Valerian blood. So
yeah.
it's like for some reason the way he just kind of acted in that scene just kind of made me laugh a little.
It's also like over dramatic, you know.
Yes, yeah, I think that's what the big point was for me. It was just really kind of over dramatic. But
And
I mean, at the same time too, this dude's like he's pissed,
yeah,
He had it all but in his hand, Driftmark that is. Yeah,
well, I
and then
hate
got
the
snatched out of his hand, but
on the second watch, I noticed more the little pre-council meeting that they have,
oh, yeah.
and where they're
Yeah.
basically just like, yeah, so I mean, everybody knows what's gonna happen, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
was so
This is just
smug.
a
The fucking
formality.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Otto and Vaemond both so smug about it.
Well, but then that's kind of like that goes hand in hand with what Rhaenys said to Rhaenyra in the garden above. Tomorrow they're gonna bring you to your knees. It's over. We already know what's gonna happen. They're going to give it to Vaemond. You
Yeah,
have no chance, and so that's why she went to her father with her last plea to, please, defend me. If you really wanted me on the throne and everything, defend me then. So
yeah.
this is a great episode. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably one of my favorite episodes.
It was really good. God, watching the trailer for the next one though gave me so much anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. Makes you
Like
wonder what the hell.
yeah, like there's clearly a lot of stuff. I mean, I think a good chunk of the episode is going to take place in the small council
Yeah,
chambers. I think the episode is called The Green Council.
yeah, it is.
And yeah, just that little snippet of Kristen Cole pulling his sword on Harold Westerling.
Yeah,
And yeah, just like everybody's about to be so divided.
yep.
Like this is about to run through everything. It's going to run through the King's Guard. It's going to run through, yeah.
People in the streets, the common people, so on and so forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Do you think we'll see Corlys again?
I don't know. That's what I wondered. See, they made it sound like he's basically on his deathbed and he wouldn't make it from his wound. What was it? Was it a neck wound, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I think they said he got cut in the throat and they've worked on him, but basically it almost made me sound or maybe think like he's got like blood poisoning or something.
Yeah, I think
Something
he was
that's
infected.
like, yeah, like he's infected. Yeah. So I don't know. I wondered that at the very end. I was like, was that was 2 episodes ago the last episode that we saw of Corlys? I don't know. It's interesting. Although, I
Yeah,
mean, maybe it's a deal where it's like he'll pop up out of nowhere, you know.
yeah.
I'm gonna say no. I'll go ahead and say no. I don't think we've seen the last. You haven't seen the last of me.
I really like the music that they'll like the show's had a lot of good music so far.
Yeah.
But I really liked the theme that they had as we were coming in on Dragonstone. I don't know if you
Yep.
remember that, but if that like
Yep.
stood out to you. But
Yep. Because I was going to say the same thing, man. I like the music in this episode.
yeah, it's really good. They've the little theme that they've put together that's not because there's a couple main themes. One of them is really reminiscent of Game of Thrones, and then there's like an entirely new one, and they keep
Yeah.
using little variations and snippets of that
Yeah.
new one, and this was
Yeah.
like part of that, you know.
Yeah.
I do love Damon looking at those dragon eggs like he'd never seen one before.
Oh.
Ah!
Ah.
And I didn't even really think about it, but I guess these eggs are going to be for their other kids. Be for
Well,
Joffrey,
that's probably
or no, Joffrey has an egg.
it'll be Aegon and
Oh yeah, Aegon,
what's the other
Viserys,
one?
and their next
Yeah.
one that's about to pop.
Aegon, Viserys, and then the newest one. So they're gonna have 6 kids. No, they would have 5 kids. Well,
She has
have
5
7.
kids. Damon
he
has
has
2.
5 kids. He has 2, so 7 altogether. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, or she has 5 and he has
4.
5 also. Yeah,
Is
but
it 5?
two different. You know, because Viserys and Lucerys are not his, but all
Break out the
3 of the
PowerPoint.
younger ones are, and Bela and Rhaena. Get the
Yeah.
chart.
Get the chart. Yeah, it's getting way too complicated. Then people are intermarrying, and then it's just like it's all over the place, man.
One of my favorites was the girl you like, her uncle, her uncle. It was like a picture of Damon, and then it's like below that another picture of Damon that's like your father. It's like, you know, just like overlapping, like your grandfather, your great uncle,
Right.
yeah.
Right. That's hilarious.
She's your aunt, but she's also your wife. Like, you know, it's just
Yeah.
it's all
The
over
other thing I was
place.
going to say though too was about the dragon egg deal. I'm sure, like, who knows? I mean, they talked about before one of the things of like sometimes they never hatch for one.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not like they just like lay a billion of them,
No.
So I mean, I'm sure it's rare. And then on top of that, it's like looking towards the future and what could possibly be coming. You want to have as many dragons as you can, I feel like, especially for your kids and your kids and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
and then just to keep the dragons going and period,
Yeah. I can't remember exactly how many God. How many dragons they have like when this is in full swing?
Just the blacks or all together?
All together.
Okay. So blacks and greens.
So in the show, they're going to show 17 total.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
And 9 of which will be in season 1. So we've got Cyrax, Dreamfire, Vagar. What's the name of Damon's?
Was this not Serax?
No, that's Rhaenyra's.
That's Rhaenyra's. It's a good question. He said it in the, or no. Was that her dragon or his dragon that gave eggs?
Hers.
Okay.
So I can think of like 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I can think of like 7.
Let's see. Caraxes?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it though?
Caraxes.
Caraxes. Okay. Let's see. There's the unhatched one. Laenor's is Sea Smoke. Rhaenys, Malays.
I think it's Melee's.
Vermax. We said Vermax, right?
Vermax. Yes, I think so. Oh, yeah, I think.
Just Ceres.
Yeah, Vermax and Arax.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Moon
that looks like all
Dancer.
of them.
We haven't seen that one yet. Moon Dancer, who's Bela's.
Okay.
And then Sea Smoke. And it
Yeah, I just said that one.
says, like in
That's
lore, that he's but it says he's wild after
Oh, okay.
Laenor
I was supposed to say,
dies.
because you don't really see, like, we've only really seen him like one time, I think.
Yeah.
So
I guess Sea Smoke does get another writer like a couple years after whenever this episode takes place. It's this guy, Adam of Hull, and that's just in Fire and Blood. I don't know.
never heard that name before.
I don't know what they'll do with it in the show. But he's rumored to be either Corlys or Laenor's bastard.
Well, see, I told you he's not dead. He's not dead yet. Corlys, that is. I have no clue about this bastard.
I mean, he could still be dead. He doesn't have to have the kid like now. The guy's probably like a full-grown man. Yeah, Corlys. Why would he still need to be alive for any of that to be true?
You said that this dude is rumored to be either Corlys or Laenor's bastard. Are you saying like Corlys's bastard or Laenor's bastard, or are you saying Corlys himself and then Laenor's bastard?
One of their bastards.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
he's still alive, people.
You thought I was saying like Adam of Hull was like maybe Corlys going by a different name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah.
He's just possibly one of the two of their bastards.
Gotcha. Okay. I got what you're saying now.
It's a long way to get to that.
Maybe that's why he has compassion for Rhaenyra's kids.
Yeah, maybe. He might have some bastards of his own.
He already has some bastards. Bastards.
Did you notice a lot of the differences in King's Landing this episode? Kind of from what it's looked like?
Point it out. Tell me.
There's not, first of all, our old friends, the banging tapestries aren't all over the walls anymore.
What?
They put up a bunch of... Go ahead. They put up a bunch of like religious stuff. They put up a bunch of like above the throne, there's a 7-pointed star now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know the 7-point star thing came up. Who brought that up? Somebody brought it up to Allison. I don't remember who it was. Saying something about
it was Daemon.
I think it was Daemon. Yeah, it was Daemon. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that one. I didn't realize the banging tapestries. What else was there?
I mean, it's mostly just that. There's not as much Targaryen like heraldry and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It's just all kind of been replaced with the faith stuff, which is...
They're taking over.
Yeah, and it's not like... I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the High Towers just like putting their stuff up without putting their stuff up, you know? Because the Citadel is in Old Town. Like they have a big, connection with that. And instead of just like putting up High Tower banners, it's like, oh, we're going to put this stuff up everywhere.
Slipping some High Tower stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's High Tower without being High Tower.
I was just going to ask you, did you notice the, who was it? I think it was Allison. She's talking to one of the King's Guard. And it's when he comes to tell her about Aegon. Like there's been a problem in Aegon's room. Oh, they got their apartments. And she called him Eric or Arik, I can't remember, and he was like, he says the opposite. He's like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
Eric." You know,
Yeah.
there's two. It's just like a random little thing, but there's two twins on the Kingsguard now.
Okay. I wonder if there was twins.
Yeah, Eric and
Because they
Arik.
both got long hair, don't they?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they look pretty much the same. They look
Yeah,
like
I noticed.
they
when
look
that-
kind of like the two Lannisters.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when all that went down, their mistaken identity or whatever.
Yeah.
Imagery, maybe.
I can't believe that we haven't talked about him all episode, but the Goblin, formerly known as Viserys.
Good Lord.
He
I didn't think it
looks
was going to be
terrible.
that bad, dude. I mean, like, he's lost so much weight.
Dude, when the mask comes
dude.
off and you can
Oh
like
my
see
gosh, man.
through his face,
Yup.
like not just the eye socket, but like all of his cheek is like
too.
missing. You see all the bone in there and everything.
Yeah. It's funny because you say that. I saw something where some people are wondering if when they're having dinner at the end of the episode and he sits down and he's got the greens on his right and he's got the blacks on his right or his left. And he takes that mask off. And so his right side of his face, has the hole in it where the eye socket is. And the cheek is all, rotting and everything like that. And a lot of people wondered if that's some like imagery of like, Allison and her family on his bad side there and Rhaenyra and her family on his good side that hasn't been eaten up or anything. I don't know. It was kind of an interesting thought though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it ever is explicit in Fire and Blood, but when they like, you don't really know what's up with Viserys, like you don't know if he's contracted some kind of disease or like what's going on, or if he's been like poisoned,
Yeah, which we
or-
talked about. We talked about, grayscale came up earlier in some of the episodes, but yeah, and I don't know, and I think too, was it Poppy's milk they kept trying to give him?
Yeah,
And
milk
the
of the
tea
poppy.
and the tea and everything, and so I feel like at a certain point they were kind of like Rhaenyra and Daemon were like, we need to stop. They need to stop giving that to him. And he even said something about, I don't want to take it because I want my mind to be clear. I don't want it clouding my mind.
Yeah, it's
So, I don't
essentially
know.
like opium. Like,
Yeah. But at the same time, too, it's like, are you poisoning him through that stuff? I don't know.
Oh yeah, because Damon, Damon like smells
yeah.
it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely suspicious of it. And I hate that we can't get like a clear answer on it, You just gotta wonder.
Well, that's why I was wondering too, is like, if are we ever going to get an answer on like what he actually had? But I don't know. Of course, then the whole thing too is like, he was already, having troubles with wounds on his back and, the finger being cut and losing that. So he was already starting to be a wreck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so weird to be like, I don't know how old do you think he is? How older do you think he is than Daemon?
Oh, I don't know. I could see them being like up to 10 years apart.
Yeah. Because I mean, at the same time too, just like, don't Targaryens, they don't really age like horrifically or anything, do they? Isn't there something about that too?
Yeah, I don't think they really age as hard as other people. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it has something to do with just having like white hair from a young age, maybe you just always kind of have that look.
Right. Well, I was gonna say like Daemon, he just, compared to him in this episode, Daemon looks pretty good, man,
Right. Yeah, he hasn't aged that much.
No,
yeah, I'm not sure what the age difference is between Viserys and Daemon.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, he's he's falling apart, man. Even like when they're like, he's laying on his stomach and they're tending to his wounds, and then they lift him up, and that's when you really get the full force of it, is when they lift him up and he's just sitting there. It's like, oh my God, dude. I think I verbally like said out loud, like, oh my God.
Yeah. He looks terrible. But he, like, I don't know, this episode is so sad. Like, he
Yeah. It's
knows
depressing with him, man.
he knows he's on his way out the door, and like all he wants to do is what he can to keep this from escalating, you know?
Yeah. Yet at the
Um,
very end there, I mean, I get it too. Is like when you're in your last moments, you'll say some things, whatever. But at the very end there, it's like he stirred the pot by telling Allison that the dream is true, that Aegon needs to be on the throne.
yes,
Did you love the
but
many references to Song of Ice and Fire in this episode?
yeah.
I thought of you every time.
Um, yeah, he's just confused, you know, and
Yeah.
he thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra. He thinks he's picking up the conversation that they were having before.
Oh,
And
when he was telling that to Allison?
yes,
Oh, shoot. You people are just witnessing a light bulb live.
and he's
That's
just
insane, dude. Because I just remembered that one of her sons, her newer sons, is named Aegon.
yes, and he's like not even necessarily referring to that. He's just like referring to Aegon the Conqueror because he's just saying Aegon, you know, he's towards the end, he's just spouting off like random thoughts from that
Right.
conversation.
I know. Yeah, I know. I just like at the same time, it's like I didn't even think about that. And then there could be, that's probably gonna play into it too. It's like there's confusion on because we both have sons named Aegon. And yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Allison is going to take that as like what he wanted, you know, that he wants Aegon to be king.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So,
I will say though, with Viserys in this episode, I got hyped when he came walking into the throne room, dude. I got so hyped. Like, yeah, Viserys.
Yep.
Walk
One
a little
last
faster.
go.
Come on, man. Yeah, one last go. I will sit the throne today.
Did you see that bit where the crown falls off his head was unscripted?
No.
Yeah. And Matt Smith just like stepped up and picked up the crown and helped them like walk the rest of the way and then put the crown on his head. And like none of that bit was scripted, I guess.
That's pretty cool. I really thought he was going to hurt himself when he sat down on the throne, though.
No, God.
Somebody who put the pillow down first, please.
He just stabs himself like right there. And it's just like over.
Yeah. And then like with Daemon, man, I feel like in this episode, you can tell he feels more like good in this episode. I feel like I don't know. He just doesn't feel the same to me than what he has, Daemon.
Yeah.
And I say that in a good way. Not that it was a bad way in the before, but it's just like, he's with Rhaenyra now and he's standing with her and he's defending her and defending Viserys and so on and so forth. So
yeah.
And then he cuts Vaemond's head off. Well, in half.
Well, I think this is like changing things for a lot of people. Like it's changing things for them, and I think it's tough for Daemon to see Viserys like that,
Yeah.
And like whatever the difference is in the past, like so much time has passed,
Mm-hmm.
It's even been 6 or 7 years since Viserys asked him to come back to court,
I was going to say, it's probably one of the things too with Daemon is regret of all those times that we've seen in just this first season or the first 7 episodes of Viserys trying to bring him back into the fold, and he just rejects it every time.
Yeah.
And so there's
or
probably
does
some regret
something
there.
to get himself kicked out.
Exactly. Yeah. So he probably regrets that stuff too. Of you can tell your brother's at the end of his life, and now you regret not having more time with him and not taking the advantage of those moments and such, or those opportunities. Yeah. Just such a good episode, man. Just such a good episode all around.
So good. What'd you think of the training yard scene?
It was good. You can tell somebody had a picture I saw, I think this morning, of um Kristen Cole fighting Aegon or Aemond in the last episode, and then fighting him in the training courtyard in this episode, and it was, I mean, totally different. You could tell how far Aemond had come. He was on the defensive the whole time in last episode, but then now he put Kristen Cole to the sword
Mhm.
with one eye.
Yeah, he's definitely the standout warrior in this
Yes.
group on
Yeah.
both sides, of the kids anyway.
Which is so weird because like I don't know, the way that they kind of hyped like Aegon, when he first was born, oh, he's gonna be on the throne, blah blah blah, and he's gonna, and then like with the whole story of Fire and Blood and everything, and how the war goes, you would think, oh, Aegon's gonna be the one that's no, it's like Aemon comes out of nowhere and is like the badass one,
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite character on that side. I like him and Helena.
What was so what do you think her little prophecy line was this time? Did you hear
Beware
it?
the beast under the floorboards.
Yeah, what is that about?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just referring to that scene, like if she's like talking about Aemond. Yeah, I don't know. That one didn't stand out to me as much as one that I could be like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
The first
I
one
just
was
didn't know if you
easy,
did.
like him closing an eye to gain a dragon.
Right.
And then the second one, the dragons of flesh weaving dragons of thread.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
She's an interesting character. I like her.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where they take Aemond and Daemon, because it feels like they're definitely gonna go head to head several times, probably.
I love that standoff between them.
Yeah.
Like where Jacaerys is about to rush back in and Daemon's like, nope. He's like, get over there. And then he just kind of like stands there with him. And you can see that moment where Aemon's like thinking about it. He's like, could I handle this? Then he reluctantly is just like, no, I can't. Not yet.
Exactly.
And then like just walks out,
Patience.
But yeah, he reminds me so much of like what young Daemon would be like.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be, I think, one of my favorite characters just to watch going forward. Probably not going to agree with a lot of the things he does, but
yeah. What's up with the writers wanting to show Aegon's butt so much?
I know, right?
What's up with that? Is this imagery, or what are you trying to tell us, people?
Yeah.
He's an ass. That's what he is.
I hated that we had like this chance for peace,
Yes. For a moment, it felt like everything was good. Everything was going to be fine.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like, it's almost like there was a glimpse into the future for a moment there when they took Viserys away because he was in so much pain. It's like tension started kind of rising between the kids. Things were said, some shots were taken.
Well, and now this thing that was started by the parents has been picked up by
passed down. Yep.
The kids. And so where the parents are able to get along in this situation, the kids are not at all.
Right.
So.
Yep. But you're right, though. It was nice. It was kind of nice to have a little bit of peace there for just a moment and see everybody kind of happy and together and everything. So,
yeah. At least Viserys got that before he went out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That ending was so depressing, man. Because I can't believe I haven't even said it yet. But dude, I'm telling you right now, if Patty Constantine does not win some type of award for his performance as Viserys Targaryen, dude, it will be a shame. Well, it will be a complete shame.
I guess George R. R. Martin told him that his version of Viserys was better than the one that he wrote.
Yeah, it's just like he is Viserys, bro.
Yeah.
I think you said that in the last episode. Actually, it's like he is Viserys. There's no way you could have anybody else.
No, he killed it.
He murdered it, man.
And it
even
sucks
even in
that-
this old decrepit age of just like crawling basically and in pain and oh dude, he killed it.
Somewhere in between Gollum and Rickety Cricket.
And Rickety Cricket, man. I can't believe I didn't even think about Rickety Cricket, man, because I was just stuck on Gollum this whole time.
Oh yeah.
Hey
Rickety Cricket
ladies, who's
final
ready to
form.
party?
um Oh man, I feel like I had something else I wanted to say about Viserys, but I feel like it's slipped away from me now.
I will say I think that Patty Constantine has washed away any hard feelings that at least I might have as his character as the priest in Peaky Blinders. He definitely overshadowed it with this.
Yeah. Well, the thing in that is like I hate his character so much in Peaky Blinders.
But I love him. Yeah.
But even the actor in that, it's not I don't know, he's just not able to showcase like a lot of his great acting skills, The priest is very like one-dimensional, like you see all these different sides of Viserys.
He's a bad guy. He is a bad guy. We know what he is, we know what he's about, and then on top of that, it's like you only get him for like there's 6 episodes in a season. There was like maybe 3 to 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in every episode. I don't think in season 3, but I could be wrong. But yeah.
He's just able to showcase like a lot of different sides,
Right.
of the character in this, whereas where we know him from, you didn't get that much out of him.
Spread his wings on this one.
Yeah. Were you surprised? I know we talked about it a little bit. Were you surprised when Vaemond got his head cut off?
I was, dude. I did not expect that. I mean, again, I verbally was like, oh my God.
I knew something was about to happen. I figured either the Kingsguard were about to force him to his knees and take his tongue, or
what's the Viserys going to do? He's like, I'm going to have your tongue for that. Come up here. Come up here. Let me cut your tongue. Yeah, I
did that pick.
Yeah,
no,
I
dude.
did not. Right? Come over here. No, I'm not going to do that.
I totally think we could outrun him.
Oh man, you'll never take me alive. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I was shocked. Was not expecting that. I mean, like maybe like cutting his head off or something, but like to cut his head like in half like that, dude, I was not expecting that at all.
And then just like do like cut with Dark Sister,
right? And then like just show like up close. I think later on the autopsy, or not the autopsy, but and they're cleaning up the body. Is like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, just the two halves of the head sitting by each other.
And then like the best line from Daemon, he can keep his tongue. Perfect.
I love where they're like, disarm him. And he's like, no need.
Yeah. No need. No need.
I'm done here.
Oh man. Our children are bastards.
He's so over dramatic in that scene.
That also is not Valerian blood.
Like, I know he wants to say what the truth is, and that's kind of Vaemond's thing, is like at some point over these last 6 years, he's decided that this is some bullshit and that he should be heir to Driftmark.
Right.
But what the fuck did he think was going to happen in that room? Like, Viserys
you're
is
on your
there,
own,
dude. Yeah, it's
you're
not
on your own.
Otto and Alicent going to be able to call for the Kingsguard to come back you up.
No,
like Viserys is there.
And they're not going to go up there and back you up themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck he thought was going to happen. And he decided this is the way he was going to go out. It's like,
I guess, man.
Why, dude? You just told a bunch of people something that they already knew, at least in the back of their minds. So you really didn't bring anything to light.
Right.
And all you did was get yourself killed when you could have lived to fight another day.
In a
You know,
gruesome
like
way,
all you
man.
got to do is hold. Like if he had held out for literally like 24 hours, he would have he would have been like right there with the fucking greens. You
Uh,
know,
just hang on 24 more hours, buddy. It's 1 more hours.
like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's such a waste. You didn't
Yeah.
accomplish anything. Like he didn't
Yeah.
prove a point.
Hey, to quote the new Norma Jean album, 24 hours till a new beginning.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. He
Um,
should have listened to some Norma Jean. That's what he should have done.
did you notice the white worm in this episode?
No. Explain.
You didn't see her? It's
Yeah. I'm sorry. I
It's
thought
one
you
of
were
the last
physically. I
scenes
thought
in
you
the
were physically
episode.
talking about like a white worm, just like, just like what?
Did you notice that white worm in that one scene? If you
Yes.
freeze it and zoom in on this one scene,
Yes. And you noticed who she was talking to, right?
wasn't it one of the handmaidens? It was the girl who
Yeah.
brought the tea for.
It's the one that's been with Allison forever
Okay,
since she's been in as the queen. It's
damn.
that redhead one, yeah. So it's
I
like,
wonder who the
oh,
white worm is giving her information to.
what is happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wondered about that. Because at first I was like, okay, it's the handmaiden. I'm like, oh man, she saw that stuff that happened with Aegon. Like she's seen some different stuff,
Yep.
and I wondered like, yeah, what exactly she was passing along to her and who the white worm was passing that information to.
Yeah. Oof.
Because before she worked for Otto, and it wouldn't really make much sense for her to just be relaying information mostly that Otto already knows about.
You idiot. I already know all about that.
I was there.
I was there. Did she not tell you I was there? I was literally right next to her.
Who do you think at the end of the episode here, where Viserys is dying after Alicent leaves the room, who do you think he's talking to?
When he says, my love,
Uh-huh.
no, what did he say? No more, my love.
I think so.
I don't know. I think, again, it's just kind of one of those where it's like he's just kind of saying whatever because he's just in so much pain. You're so delirious and everything, you know?
Yeah. Well, I wondered if he was like seeing Aemma.
Maybe so, man. Maybe saying no more pain.
Yeah, because he really
Yeah.
loved Aemma. Like
Well,
some marriages are like arranged and you kind of like each other, but he really loved Aemma.
Didn't he drop her name not so long ago? Like I don't think it was in this episode, maybe like the episode before, or like
It was the
accidentally or
last
something.
episode. He calls
Yeah.
Alicent Aemma.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
see, you can tell he's still, yeah, which we knew that. I mean, he was very reluctant to remarry anyway. And he keeps telling everybody, he's like, I loved her so much. And it killed him to do what he had to do, but he was thinking about the kingdom, in the future and everything. But yeah, it's like I said, that's a very depressing scene, man, there when he's going out. It's just like fades to black and he's like, my love.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, I'm depressed now, man.
I know it ended and we were just like, oh, that's it.
Great. Now I got to think about death all night. Thanks.
It's like the way the Red Wedding episode ends. It's like Catelyn Stark cuts that girl's throat, and then that guy comes up behind her and then just like cuts her throat. And then that's just like the end of the episode. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
And then somebody came behind him and cut his throat. And then somebody came behind that person and got their throat.
Well, she was like, everybody else was already dead. And she was
Yeah.
holding that girl trying to get Walder Frey to let Rob leave, even though he's got a bunch of crossbow bolts like stuck in him.
Wow.
And then he won't do it. So they kill Rob. And then she like cuts the girl's throat. And then one of his men comes up behind her and like cuts her throat.
Man. Wow.
And then that's just the end of the episode.
And then that's it.
And then it plays The Reigns of Castamere, which is the most infuriating song ever.
Oh man.
Oh, I think we got it. Was there anything else from the episode that you wanted to?
I don't think so, man. I'm trying to think. There was. I can't really think of anything. It sucks that there's not going to be Viserys anymore. That was one thing
Yeah.
I thought of right after the episode. And I was like, well, took us eight episodes, and it felt like it was a lot more than 8 episodes. But it sucks that we're not going to be able to see him anymore, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss
Because
him.
again, he killed it, man. He killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But then at the same time, we have, all this tension and war that looms on the horizon to look forward to. Yay!
Yay! So many
Hey,
episodes of
war!
anxiety. Yay!
Right. 2 more episodes, man. Right?
Yeah.
2? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
losing track. This was
Yep.
8. And then we're not. Okay, yeah. It's 2 more
Yeah.
episodes. Yep.
The Green Council, and then I can't
And then
remember what
the Black Queen.
the Black Queen. Okay.
Yep. Almost makes you wonder if, to me, when I read those titles, it almost makes me wonder if these next 2 episodes are supposed to be kind of taking place at the same time. But like the next one, that's the Green Council, is from the view of the Greens and what they're doing and everything right after the Viserys' death. And then the Black Queen's episode is maybe like the Blacks' point of view right after the death, as it kind of like overlaps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Could be. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm calling it now.
Anybody you probably want to, I would probably gonna both say the same things here. Last week, we both said Viserys and
Do we even need to
Aemond
say it?
and-
I mean, like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's definitely Viserys and Aemond in this one again.
Yeah,
So,
easily. They are taking center stage. And now that Viserys is gone, Aemond may take full-blown center stage
yeah.
for us, Maybe Daemon. Daemon would probably step it up too, I bet. But
Yeah. I mean, just as far as like most interesting characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything from the trailer that you were excited to see?
Well, I mean, I'm ready overall for the next episode. You know me, I'm a glutton for streaming and binge watching. I can't control myself. Although I will say I've been surprised that I haven't been tearing my hair out waiting for the next episode or anything like that. I've been patient. So, of course, I have other things going on too. So that kind of.
It's usually by Friday when I watch Rings of Power that I'm like, man, I wish that next episode was out. But then by then, you just have a couple days.
Oh, but yeah, let's say you only got a couple of days then. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one.
Let's see how well he does here, people.
Make sure that you guys are following us on YouTube at Is Survived by Productions. You can follow us on Twitter at Is Survived by Pro, and me on my personal at Joshua Lynn Gary. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, any place you get your podcasts by searching Is Survived by Productions, or just looking up any of our shows, because we don't just have one show, do we?
No, we do not, sir. We have 3 shows overall and many more to come, I'm sure. We have the Red Right Hand podcast, which is a podcast between these 2 guys right here, going back through all 6 seasons, plus some little mini episodes too, talking about the history, about the show, The Peaky Blinders. And we also have our other podcast, which is a music podcast, History of the Corrs podcast, where we take a look at the band from the core genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this, Josh, but if you go on to Google and you type in Is Survived by Productions,
Google,
everything, Google, I say, Googly, you can type Is Survived by Productions, and all of our stuff will show up on there. Our YouTube channel, our Apple, the Apple Podcast, Spotify, our Twitter, everything will show up on there. So if you want to make it a little bit easier, just go to Google and type in Is Survived by Productions. You really can't go wrong, people. We're everywhere. So
We're everywhere. It's easy to find.
Yeah.
Big net, get in it. All right, we'll be back next week for episode 9, The Green Council.